friend.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how that goes for you. Are you going to record it?
I am not this time. This is my second one. The first one was pre-COVID.
Okay.
And this is my second one, but this one is with an audience that I don't know every single person in the audience.
Yeah.
The first time it was with almost or many of the people that the songs are about.
Oh,
So the
wow.
first time was very emotional and very rich.
Yeah.
And this will be with some friends of friends. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that'll be a great kind of stepping stone to whatever blossoms from this.
Yeah.
I pre-COVID, I was starting to do like living room concerts, and it was based on this book that I read on like how to set up a show that's donation based.
Uh-huh.
And basically, you just you have like a friend who has a big enough house to house like 30 people or something, and you invite them to invite their friends, and letting people in. And the idea is like you just do your show, and then they do a pitch at the end to just give from whatever.
Get from the heart, yeah.
Give from the heart. And what's cool about that is it allows, like, if you just put a $20 price tag or like a ticket price, then I mean even $5 can be a lot for some people. But there's people who will give way more. Like there are people who would just, they are gonna drop 100 in every time just because they love you, you know. And not necessarily that it's about the money, but
it also facilitates having more of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it allows for like a diversity of people to show up. So I'm
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. We just usually have a basket that says love offering at the front,
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Hey Dave, hey Ryan.
Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Hey Roger. All
I
right,
don't
Dave.
sound like a chipmunk today, do I?
Not yet. Depends on how much helium you're gonna imbibe.
No, sometimes my webcam has a mind of its own, and when it gets plugged in after not being plugged in for a while, I come on sounding like a chipmunk.
Yeah.
So,
I want to hear poetry read by a chipmunk.
Yeah. Chipmunk haiku.
that'd be all right.
Okay, one last thing on Robin's event that's just bubbling up from within. Like, what if our community kind of had a backyard
House concert.
house concert that was like for our community, but maybe there was a way to also kind of, I don't know how we would do it, but I know I've done some like Zoom concerts back when COVID like really hit hard, and like I lost my main gig.
Yeah.
So I was able to play a few of these like kind of Zoom concerts that went surprisingly well. But maybe there could be a way for us to do something like that that's interactive, but also kind of a tight knit group and an opportunity for people to practice, like doing a concert and practicing what they're going to say in between songs and stuff like that. Because I think that's a whole nother art form that I'm super curious about.
It's kind of like a mini open mic in a way.
Yeah, but like one person has a stage for like the whole concert, or maybe it's like 3 people or something.
Okay.
Yeah, if to start with, I was thinking like you're thinking more less of an open mic and more of a showcase where you got
Yeah.
We used to have this program called Her Voice, and it was my a cappella trio and the poet that's going to be actually speaking at my event, and a woman who is really dear to everyone in the community, who is always acting in plays and things, and she's a very good reader, and her command of prose is stunning. So we created triads of like three things, like a poem, a story, and a song. And each little triad had its own concept. Like one would be motherhood, and maybe one would be nature, and one would be grief, and one would. So it was these beautiful little triads. Working in threes is kind of magical.
Yeah.
So a
Wow.
three-man show or three-person show might be a
Yeah.
great idea.
Mm.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll just kind of let that marinate. And in the meantime, let's do some haikuing.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Take it away, Robin.
so I thought today, working again from my Sacred Art of Haiku book, that we would do what's called Lectio Divina,
Mm.
which means speaking the divine, basically speaking the divine. And so the first part of Lectio is to read or listen to a work, a piece of work, and then to meditate on it, and then to speak it aloud, and then to think about how it was spoken.
Mm.
So I sent out a poem, and I don't know if everyone received it from the last
Ooh.
thing. It was called
Oh
Into the
yeah.
Jewel.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I know. I got I got three straight away, picking a
Yeah,
couple of
and
words out
couple
of
of
the
you just
poem, and then
really went
I
with
got
it.
up to
Which is so great.
I got up to five. I got up to
Yeah.
five.
I got 3.
already. Oh my gosh, it's so great. I am not as savvy, Rigel, as I would want to be as far as getting people's work written down in front of other people's eyes so that we can read it to ourselves
Yeah.
before we have this reader read it out loud to us.
Yeah.
But,
Let's.
can you put that on something, do you think?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
we
Let
put it in
me
the chat?
tell you what. I'm gonna go over to the event and the post, and it's there. It is on the post, and I think this is actually small enough to paste. I could just paste this into the chat. That would you like that, or would you like me to share the screen?
What's easier for everyone to read like not simultaneously, not like we're going to read aloud together, but we all want to see it.
I can here. Let me just quickly. I'm gonna quickly put it here into a document, and I'm just gonna share the screen. Look at that. Okay. Screen sharing. All right, ready? Here we go. Everyone see that?
Wonderful. That's it. All right. So our first part is to read and listen. So I'm going to speak it while you guys just listen. And when you listen, you're going to try to not super consciously, but sort of consciously regulate your breath. You're quieting your mind, and you're not going to take off. You're not going to take off on a word and go, whoa, I love that word, and immediately jump. You're going to try to feel the entire piece as a whole.
Hmm.
Okay, so big breath in, big breath out. Into the jewel. Seek the source, the soul of the prism, where what is priceless is most plentiful. Enter emerald. Carve a trail of topaz up mountains studded with garnet to meadows littered with amethyst. Stumble among sapphire, one immense and perfect sky you carry like a crown. Live and die among huckleberries big as diamonds you always have and hunger for, becoming yourself, precious and plentiful.
Hmm.
All right. So with no expectation, which probably means set your other haikus aside, I would imagine at this point,
Hmm.
and take your paper and your pencil and pull out 2 or 3 words or phrases that make an impact on you. So you're going to read it again, and you're going to let your eye land and let your mind land on something that spoke to you.
Okay.
And you're just going to make a little list of a few words, a few phrases, whatever comes to you. Not a haiku, just a little list. And then we're going to work with that list. If you end up with 5 or 6 words or phrases, that's probably enough to work with. Okay. Is everyone feeling pretty close? Okay. So let's go back to my notes. So I have to say I kind of biased this whole thing. I tipped this whole thing in favor of my heart a little bit because my son's name is Huckleberry. And whenever I read any of this, I just see a picture in my head. And so my images come really thick and fast.
Well,
But what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on our list. And to yourself, you can mute it and do it out loud, or you can just do it to yourself. You're going to repeat out loud the phrases that you wrote or the words that you wrote down. Say them slowly and do the same thing we did with the song. Try to say those phrases or those words and feel each one without an expectation of where it's going to go.
of where it's what?
Without an expectation of where you're going to put it in a poem or where you would put it in a song. Just the word itself, the phrase itself, and let your mind interact and go to memories or experiences or current events or whatever's happening in your mind. Let it like flow with it and say, oh, I remember a time when. Not that this is what you're going to put in your poem, but this is what you're going to just feel. So let yourself feel all the impressions that these words or phrases might have if they were having a conversation with you, like what they might spark in you. And so it's this interaction time. And if any of them really call out to you, jot that down in another list. So if I was looking at meadows littered, I might think, oh, litter, that word, yeah, that might pop into my head. Like, I don't like that word litter. I don't like that word thinking that there's litter in the meadow. I might go in a totally different direction.
Mm.
And that is a strong feeling, and that's okay to put down. So these, again, this is not your poem. These are just lists of impressions.
Mm. Okay. So you want us to mute? Just
So
try
you
it
can
out?
mute to do it out loud. Read your list to yourself out loud,
Okay.
and try to do the same thing you did with your list that we just did with the poem, except broaden it out a little bit now.
Okay.
When you say broaden it out, Robin,
When I
so
say what?
okay, we're gonna say through the words or phrases. I'll pick words, 6 words. So
Okay.
you go through them, try and get a feeling for the words, right? And then
Mhm.
from that, any ones that particularly words or phrases that particularly jump out at you, you jot those in another list.
Yes, then you think, well, why is it important to me? What is it? Well, what does diamond make me feel? Does diamond make me feel like, oh, that day at the river? Then you can write that day at the river, because
And
the
then
diamonds were sparkling.
okay,
So whatever that word might spark in you, it does not have to, I wrote specifically here, these do not have to go with this poem. There
no.
does not have to be a thing about picking or eating huckleberries in this poem, in these words.
I
that
guess
you
the
select.
idea is to sort of expand once you've gone through that word or phrase and you've got that feeling, expand upon that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, you are expanding
Yeah.
within your own experiential stuff now, because you're going
Okay.
into your own world now. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, here we go. Hmm. It's really hard not to go into a poem at this point. Maybe you're discovering that. So I'm just going to read you what I wrote so that you can see it almost feels like a poem, but we're not putting it together quite yet. My daughter just took a little stumble on a hike and sprained her ankle, and it's been at least a week healing. And so the stumbling, that's what I wrote about her. And I wrote, a small stumble can leave a mark. Treat each small need with care. Souls are immense and delicate. That's just an idea that a small stumble can happen to your body or to your soul. And those things are all needing care and concern, even if they're just a small stumble. So I wrote that down. And we can help each other up a mountain, because as I get older, people always reach out their hand to help me out on a hike, to go over a rock or a log. So I wrote that. So I'm just writing little things that inspire you, inspire your own personal experience or your own personal concern or worry or hopes and dreams. So when you get a few of those, then we're going to move on.
Okay, have I missed something here? Because I popped off for a second.
Okay.
Are we on a new exercise now?
No, it's the same one. I was just kind of clarifying how hard it is not to go poetic at this point. This is still
I was finding it very hard not to get in song mode still.
Yeah, it's very hard not to move into that mode, because that's where we're going, and we know where.
But out of four, only one rhymes. So I'm going to take that as.
Sometimes you help me out with those rhyming ones. Okay. Does everyone have a few experiential kind of things that they feel comfortable sharing? Anyone would like to share?
I'll go with the first one, which was more, I guess, humorous. And I went with just crown, and then use that jump as my jumping off point.
Okay.
Crown that should be upon my head, for my name's translation means little king. Is conspicuously missing, or at least mislaid.
Very good. You went right into the poem. That's great. I like that. And that's exactly the thing. Take one word and it doesn't have anything to do with the poem, and that's great. Anybody else want to read one, or just read their impressions? It doesn't have to be a haiku. It just has to be an impression at least.
I'm happy to read some.
Okay, great.
So it's so interesting to come to your poem through Lectio Divino, because I'm reading it in a whole different way than I did when I wrote the haikus. So I haven't even read the haikus in a couple weeks, because I did it.
We're going to go back and look at those people that wrote haikus right away, because that was so exciting, and then.
Yeah. So I chose 5 different kind of phrases, sentences. The first one: you always have a hunger for becoming yourself. And I felt sadness that it hasn't happened quickly. What did I put down? Bowing at stones of tomorrow. There was this image that came to mind of me on stage with my sister Meadow when we were like little kids, and I learned mandolin, and she was playing the fiddle, and we played chicken in the hay, hey, 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 chicken in the straw, ha, ha, ha. Yeah. And we were like bowing together on stage.
And Meadow is in this poem.
I know.
Beautiful.
So that was a lovely memory. I chose plentiful. I chose the carve a trail of topaz up mountains. And I put down pacing myself through life's trials. Each trial leaves a wake that I don't necessarily see until maybe I'm up at the top and I'm looking back down.
Oh, great. You don't even know you got there until you turn around and look.
Yeah, yeah. And so it brought up memories of like hospital visits, the car accident, first time to the ER with my son, and just like this crazy pain that's left this wake of topaz in a sense.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And then I'll share one other one. What is priceless is most plentiful. And my response to that was like, what can't be bought? My values, my love, my ability to turn a crappy situation into a moment of connection. And it reminded me of this morning, my wife and I went on like a breakfast date, and we were both like not our best selves this morning. And there was a point where we were driving back, and I was just like kind of going on this monologue. And then I had this moment of self-reflection where she's just like looking at me, and I'm like, sometimes you just want to cross the street, and I'm making you run a marathon. And she just like burst out laughing and was like, thank you.
That's really good. Self-reflection is good, which kind of makes me somehow, when I look at the poem, which is on the page here, and you're saying self-reflection, all the gems, all the gemstones in this, all the sparkling, all the awareness kind of
Oh, yeah.
pulls from that too, which is a really good connection.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Dave?
I think I misunderstood kind of the intent of this. I wrote down I got 5 or 6 words here. And,
Okay.
I just wrote down things that they basically mean to me. Like priceless means something's valuable, but it shouldn't cost you anything.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Um,
These are good little, these are the little images. These are good. Yeah.
yeah. Meadows are wide open spaces. They're calm and relaxing. And it's a great place to have a daydream.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one really hit me.
Yes.
I don't know why. I have a very vivid image of just laying in the grass and doing nothing, staring at the clouds, whatever. I think that's probably my happiest place. Stumble. This one is a little more close to home. Weakness, old age, youth, failing, and or a happy accident, because we stumble on things. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Even though if
Yes.
I stumbled now with my bad leg, I could be on my head.
Yeah.
Um,
But the stumbling on good things is totally thinking out of the box to take our mind away from where
the
we go when
negative.
we think of the word stumble.
Yeah.
Because I
Uh,
immediately thought of falling on my head, or my daughter falling on a rock. Yeah, yeah. And
uh,
actually,
go ahead.
did you use stumble and meadow? You used stumble and
Yes.
meadow. Rigel, you use meadow. I use stumble. Did anyone else use crown in their ideas?
Me.
Ryan used crown. Okay.
With Crown, I thought of royalty like Ryan did. I also thought of Jack and Jill, where Jack fell down and broke his crown, also leading back to stumbling. But I also thought about when we're born. They say the baby's crowning, right?
Crowning. Uh-huh.
Um,
Oh,
and
wow.
becoming yourself was the last one. And to me, that it just means awakening, enlightenment. It's a journey of discovery, pushing through resistance, reimagining who you can be, and creating that person, what you want to be, really.
Right. And that pours right into carving your own trail, carving your own path, making your own self with what you are doing, moving up. Rigel, you said honoring your honoring your best abilities, like what you think you're good at and what you can offer and what you can give. And these are these are tying in with the poem, but we're all tying in with each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is like a 4-step thing. We're going to take these ideas and we're going to sit with them for a little bit, because we are going to go into oratorio, which means we have to create something that we can speak. And we are going to write a haiku. And in this haiku, you can take any of these experiences you've had, but at least one word, and maybe a couple if you can do it, but no forcing. At least one word has to be an actual word from the poem in your haiku. So you have to say immense, or you have to say hunger in your poem. Somewhere there has to be one word from the poem in your haiku. And it needs to be one of the ones you pulled out already. It can't be a new word. So I think we should ditch the poem.
Okay.
Right? So we're not looking over there.
Yeah.
Now just go through your list, oh, Rick, how come you didn't pop up on my thing? I didn't get Rick's. Now you're in front of me and I see you. I thought you left. Okay.
No.
What were yours?
This was similar to Dave. I just kind of got words off of words. So, like I kind of carve a trail is one phrase that I grabbed, and so off carve I got things like things you can carve, like
Oh, okay.
wood, a body,
Oh,
oak. I guess a specific kind of wood.
a body.
Um, well, I mean,
Like sculpt a body, like
yeah,
workout kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Not like Dexter would carve a body.
I mean, that's another option, right?
Yeah.
These things can go both ways.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And where else did you go? What other words did you pick with your
Well,
words?
I grabbed the phrase immense and perfect. So off of immense, I just got words like sky, mountain, cloud, fire,
Oh,
span,
okay.
things that can be immense, I suppose. Um, a few other things like that. Just no strong images, just random words bouncing
No
off.
strong independent images like from your own memory or anything like
No,
that?
not really.
Okay. All right. This is good. Now I have everybody in my view. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to write that haiku. We're going to take probably, let's take 5 minutes max. We're going to write a haiku. We're going to use at least one word from the list we chose. And we're going to try to think about those times, images, or impressions. In Rick's case, more impressions of what things are. And your haiku is going to shoot for 575, and it's not written in stone. It's not carved in oak, Rick. It's going to be what we're heading for. You never sacrifice depth or passion or meaning for the sake of one syllable. It's just not worth it. So we're going to take 5 here and give us a haiku that comes from what you got out of your list. And you can mute and talk out loud, because haikus out loud sometimes the rhythm, the feel sort of can move you forward almost like a melody. when you're finished, can you put your haiku in the chat? This has to be the one that we just did, not one of the previous ones. Mm. Okay, everybody good? Rick, I have just one line from you. Is that your? Where is it?
It's just the chat function not behaving as I expected it would. I'll paste it in a minute.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into an order. It could be changed and rechanged, but this is part of, what did they call this? This is a part of the contemplation process. So I'm going to put them into an order and read them all together as one long poem. And this is just a time for you to think about how everyone interacted with you, not even knowing what you were doing, what you were writing. Okay, cloud slides over rock. Okay. And I guess listen for our commonalities here, because you know how sometimes when we'd be doing, like especially doing stuff with Shane, and he would say how to bring it into the universal is to get intimate. And when you feel an intimacy with someone else or something someone else says, it opens things up. It doesn't make it smaller and tighter. It makes it bigger and more beautiful. I think I have got to start with Rick's. So Rick's is going to be first. I have to look at this for a second here.
Robin, did you put one into?
Oh, I'll put mine in here. Sorry. Oh, oops, sorry. I forget I'm not typing right. Oh, well,
It's all right.
silly. Okay, there we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now everybody turn off the chat and just take your next deep breath. Cloud slides over rock. Mountain breaks against sky. Immense black and blue. To stumble is to move. Immense opportunity to refresh my soul. Daydreams in meadows, awakening the priceless. Resistance failing. Hunger comes and goes like a practicality. Trail calls me. Wanderlust. Mountains look back down. Each trial leaves rippled reflections. Whoops, I blew it. Each trial leaves ripple. Reflections enter again. Did I blow that, Rigel?
It's rippled
Rippled.
reflections.
Do I do that in one line?
Yeah, each trial leaves rippled reflections.
Enter again. I got it. Okay. I'm going to do that again, guys.
Okay, okay.
Cloud slides over rock. Mountain breaks against sky. Immense black and blue. To stumble is to move. Immense opportunity to refresh my soul. Daydreams in meadows, awakening the priceless, resistance failing. Hunger comes and goes like a practicality. Trail calls me, wanderlust. Mountains look back down. Each trial leaves rippled reflections. Enter again. So it's a great creation.
Oh, God.
I kind of felt like, oh, there's struggle in the middle, hunger, stumbling. The very beginning is like, wow, look at this. Playing the first hit you get, but then you start looking at your feet.
Yeah.
It's really, I love it. It's really beautiful. You guys, this is really good. Okay. Oh my goodness. I really wanted to get to the last part of this. My whole goal was to find a way to turn haiku into song. And I'm a little bit at a loss as to know how to do this. But how about if we can get all these into I'll put all these into a thing and we can all look at them.
Uh-huh.
I'll send it out and then see what comes up musically for next time. That might be fun, and be prepared to do a little musical hit of whatever sunk in. And also what I wanted to say, especially for Ryan and Rigel, I think you did it too. You wrote haikus on your own after the poem came up. I wrote one too, and I realized my one that I wrote, it's so personal. It's just like about my kid, my child, my own heart, Huck of the mountains, stumbling and flying. I mean, it's great, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the big thing, and when we did it together, it turned into a big thing, which was cool. Does anyone else want to read one of their early ones while we have 2 minutes?
I'm always down.
Okay, go for it.
Let's see. Sunray breaks storm clouds. Laughter rises above reasons, dancing through seasons.
Oh, and a beautiful poem to pull out the back of it. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love it.
I'll read
Okay.
somewhere that I got. On the last workshop, we kind of set homework for working with
Yeah.
individual, didn't we? So I got a few there. Let's try and pick out the ones I think the best. Okay. Seek the source again. Solace in spiritual peace. Hope to be released.
Wow.
Uh,
Three
and then,
separate things. Wait. We
Yeah.
gotta talk about this one.
okay.
This is really
Okay.
good. Three separate lines, and then using alliteration so strongly in those first two lines, and a little bit in the last one. That was really pulls your brain into what you're saying, and it's smooth. Using the S one for alliteration really kind of like moves something along like a just like a little trail. So it's beautiful. Really
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, it originally comes from Japanese, and then I was reading in my little how-to haiku thing, and it's like they've got a lot of vowel sounds, so it must, when they're doing it in their native tongue, it must be wow, you know what I mean? Because we've got, English is a lot more expressive language,
Yeah,
I
and we
guess,
have
in that way.
sibilant sounds, or we have harsh sounds, or we have all those things. So,
Yeah.
very good. How about another?
Okay. Immense and perfect, priceless and most plentiful, waiting to be found.
Oh,
Do it. Pulls right out of it. That's really good. Those are good. Dave, did you make one?
No, I didn't.
Didn't Rick? Did you happen to go back to the homework thing? Anybody know? Okay.
I have the two more, and I just realized that what I did differently with these is I rhymed the last two lines on all of them.
All
I'm just
three?
I forgot. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, give them to us.
I'll give you the I'll do the first one first, and then so we have sun ray breaks storm clouds, laughter rises above reasons, dancing through seasons. Then we
Okay.
have sticky cantaloupe, knife slips between flesh and rind when I carve time.
Ooh, really nicely done. Oh yeah, take it from the physical, the knife, the rind,
Yeah,
the flesh, those kind of
yeah.
things, and then
When I
what
carve
did you
time.
carve? You
Yeah,
carved time.
yeah.
Really good, really good. Yeah.
Glad I'm dazzling you here, Robin.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, hiding behind clouds, sapphire sky plays peekaboo. I see you.
Oh, that's darling. That's a really great, because it that makes everybody go, oh, it evokes the same response. That's how that one just got universal in a fast way.
Yeah.
I got one more.
Yeah, did
Okay.
it, Ryan?
Plentiful, no value. Scarcity may magnify. Contentment, priceless.
Yes,
Hmm.
beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, these are so good. When these classes are all over, let's just put a book together.
Yeah.
100 Days of Songwriting haiku book.
Maybe should we just do a long thread to keep it going? Sort of
Yeah.
just keep. Everyone does a haiku. Someone does a haiku, and then someone does another one after that, and we keep going in a thread.
Yeah. No, I'm just so thrilled. Everyone I hear is just like moves me.
Oh man.
These are they're like little gems, and I'm just guess I'm wondering, could these be like, oh, some of these would be such good little hooks for songs, little hooks or little moments in the song where they go, wait, what did he just sing? What did she just sing? It's like that. Oh, that's such a cool line. These little gems.
Yeah, well maybe if you're up for it, Robin, next Thursday, we're just kind of pulling this thread for as long as you have time. I know you
Yeah,
have to
I
go back
love
to
it.
teaching
Funny.
like school, right?
Let me grab my calendar. Yeah, school starts end of August.
Mhm.
Let's see, Elizabeth Park. We have our big park gig coming up. We get like, we always overfill the park and the county gets mad at us, but it's really great. Our big park, and every year we win it because the person who gets the most money donated to the park, because it supports itself, it's a self-supporting park,
Yeah.
gets to come back, gets a solid pass for coming back the next year. And then they get all new people, all new gig every Thursday, all throughout the summer. And we've won it like 8 years in a row.
Oh my
And
gosh.
because I have a really big mouth and I say, put money in the gazebo.
Yes, yes.
But that's our upcoming Thursday. 18th, I have. We're thinking the 11th or the 18th. I have either
Next
one.
week.
Next week. Okay, I can do that one.
Yeah, let's do next week. That's the 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And we can just kind of, if you have a specific idea of how you want to shape the conversation, great. Otherwise, we can kind of discuss, how do we now take all of this work, how do we take a haiku and either use it to guide a song or actually use it in a song? Because I think both could be useful conversations.
And I have built a song strictly, I think I sang it for you with just haikus in it.
Yeah.
And stretch, taking a little license here and there, but I kind of feel like there's something else, somewhere else it can go, and I don't quite know what it is yet. So I think it's just also the practice of daily writing haikus makes your pen move on paper. Here we go, we're writing something,
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Awesome. Well, thank you all for showing up. This was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this one down and send it out so you guys can all hear it.
All right. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Thanks, Robin.
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right,
Robin.
Robin.
Good to see you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
So, see you next time.